Welcome back to another episode of Pole Obsession with me, Felix Kane, and the beautiful Elizabeth Domazet. Would you like to intro our guest, Elle?
These two are two of the very first, or the very first, pole dance instructors that ever existed on the planet. Pretty big. That's a pretty big thing, guys. So we have Candice and we have Suzie Q. And it's not just that they're the very first pole instructors on the entire planet, which they are, but there's so much more to them. So I'm going to let them tell you, because I couldn't even rattle off the amount of stuff that they've done. So I'm going to let them tell you exactly who they are, what they've done. Susie's giving me the look of terror, but it's because she's done so much. She's like, where do I start?
Should have prepared. I needed to prepare.
Who am I? What have I done?
Who am I? That is a good question.
All right, go for it, Suzie. Tell us.
Okay, I'm Suzie Q. I am half of Suzie Q and Toby J. I started competing pole in 2005 and finished competing pole in 2023 at Pole Icon with Toby. Toby and I now work as cruise ship guest entertainers with our own 45-minute show. We've appeared on Australia's Got Talent. We've won Australian Pole Championships a couple of times. And now we have our own retreat space. We have Ridgetop Retreat, which is a custom-built pole and aerial B&B on our beautiful bushland property here in Sydney.
And you also had your own studio?
Yes, I had Suzie Q Pole Studio in Sydney and the Gold Coast for almost 10 years with the wonderful Charlie Fox.
And you're one of the first ever Miss Pole Dance competitors?
Yeah, 2005. Yes.
Yeah. There's so much more.
Former Miss Nude Australia, Penthouse Pet, author.
Yeah, and you've written a book?
Yes, The Stripper Next Door.
Yes, and you've been on a TV show?
A few The SBS documentary Best Undressed, and I won the reality TV series Erotic Star. And I was also on a couple of very dodgy things for Playboy TV, like Tour Girls and Travel Girls.
We're going to have to dig those up.
No.
All right, Candice, you're up.
Hey everybody, I'm Candice Leigh, and I was one of the original teachers for Bobby's Pole Studio way back in, 2003, I think that was.
And then
years and years and years ago.
It was 2003.
Yeah.
Right.
When she first started operating, and then 2004 when we got like the permanent proper our own studio.
Oh,
her own studio.
Yeah.
Like we had a designated space.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Valentine's Day, because we actually ran out of a massage parlor in Sydney, in Pitt Street. So that was pretty funny. So worked with Bobby's Pole Studio, entered Miss Pole Dance in 2006, got my ass whooped by Felix Kane, and got third place in that one. And Suzie got second, actually. And then, yeah.
Oh, you got first, second, and third from Miss Pole Dance. Oh, I love that.
First, second, third on. And then I won it in 2007. I did enter one more competition, Australian Pole Dancing Championships in 2010. Went in that with a friend of mine, my best friend, and we did that as kind of something to work towards. I was very happy that Suzie won because we only wanted to get second place. We wanted Suzie and Toby to win because we knew they would do more with it, which was very exciting. And did a lot of double performances with Suzie all around Sydney. Actually went to Bali and all sorts of places as well. So pole dancing has kind of taken me a little bit around the world, doing workshops and just performing and everything as well. I have done a little few extras in movies, and I was in Erotic Star as well with Suzie. Kind of went in to support her with that one, so that was fun. It's really interesting doing a reality TV show when you have never watched a reality TV show. That was a very big eye-opener, I can tell you. And then I owned a pole studio in Byron Bay. And now I currently work for Studio Eden for Nicole Harbour up there. And we run Miss Pole Dance Queensland together, and I run Floor Play Queensland. And I'm sure there's lots of other stuff, but I think that'll do.
So much. Over 20, how many years is that now? 23 years?
23 years, yeah.
The OGs.
We got the OGs in the house. I'm super excited because I want to Like, I don't know what about you, Elle, but I really want to know about like the old timey times, you know, the El Paso times.
Yes, yes. Tell us. So you met by instructing, or were you dancing together previous to instructing?
I met you at Men's Gallery. Oh no, at a private somewhere. You lent me underwear.
It was John's private show at his hotel room. No, his apartment. That's right.
And you lent me didn't you lend me a G-string?
I lent you a G-string and a bra. That's right.
And we've been friends ever since.
Wait, okay, I already have questions. Who's John?
He was a customer at Men's Gal.
Oh, okay.
And he used to run these like crazy parties. He would get like how many lots of strippers to go, and he would put on amazing food and drinks, and we would dance around. And yeah, I think that was where I met you. That was the first time I met you, Candice. Yay.
How old were you both then? Because you're both still so young.
I was 22, I think. You would have been younger than that, Susie.
Yeah.
What, like 20? I don't know. I don't know what year this was.
Would have been,
Yeah, so was it?
2003, late 2003, 2004, maybe?
Oh, I would have been like more like 24, 25 or something then. Like maybe this
Really?
was before then. Anyway, we were in early 20s. Elle is the answer to your question. Early 20s.
So you both were strippers first
Yes.
before you started. So how old were you when you started stripping?
Yes,
18
Susie.
years. Yes.
18. Both of you?
Yeah, I was, I think, how old was I when I came to Australia? 20, I think, 21. Yeah, I think I was like 21.
Wow, what an introduction to a work life. Here we are.
Elle, may I please tell a story here about what you thought a strip club was?
I think everyone knows how.
I don't know this.
I want to know.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
And this is such a great story because it never ends. Like it continued till today.
Just the joke that just keeps giving.
Yeah. The big scope of it is that Elle didn't know that at strip clubs you got nude.
Well, okay. Until very recently, I thought that you wore lingerie because all the girls that I know that are strippers, they go and buy all this expensive Honey Birdette and all this expensive lingerie. And I'm like, why would you pay $500 for lingerie and just take it off and chuck it on the ground? I didn't know that you were nude the whole time, right?
No, you take it off, but then someone else pays you to take it off, and then you put it back on, and then someone else pays you to take it off, and then you put it back on, and then someone else pays you and you take it off.
Well, I didn't know it was all off, okay? I just thought the bra came off. I didn't understand that there was the whole thing that was coming.
I love the innocence of this. It's so
I know.
Very beautiful.
It's so cute. And we went to the strip. Where was the strip club we went to, Elle? What?
I went to
in,
one last year, the first one I went to in Brisbane.
I was like, we have to go to a strip club. We have to go to a strip club. And Elle was really annoyed because there were no like feature shows, and she's like, "What is this? They're not doing anything. They're not using the pole. They're not. What is this? Where's the pole shows?"
Thought there was going to be a show because I've heard for so many years, showgirls. We all came from showgirls. Well, where's the showgirls? There was no showgirls, none.
And to be fair, I don't know. I don't know if this club has showgirls regularly or if they have like show nights or whatever. But yeah, there weren't any feature shows that night. So it was.
You know what? You want to know something funny about that? I like literally 2 hours ago, I did an induction with somebody in my 24 who is a stripper and was a stripper at that particular club. How random is that? And I was telling her about it, and she said to me, she's come over from the States and she's like touring Australia or whatever. And then she said she came into Australia and she started doing tricks and things like that on the poles. And then the girl said to her, you don't need to do that here. We don't do that in Australia. And she's like, come from the States. So they're doing all these big, crazy tricks. And she said she'll do this show in the States and she'll get like $400 thrown at her because the tricks are so cool. And she said, but when she got here, she was like almost kind of like shamed for it a little bit. Like, what are you doing? We don't do that. We kind of go and we just get the lap dances. So thank you very much. It does happen.
No, that's actually really interesting you say that, because we used to take our pole students to a strip club to see, you know, them. Sometimes like Bobby would perform and we'd go in and then they would sit there and they would go, I do more pole than that. I do better pole. Like they just crawl around on the floor. And I'm like, well, that's kind of how they make their money. Yeah. But you don't see a lot of excessive pole dancing in a strip club, you know. That's not really how they make their money. Sort of, you would get up and do a really big trick to get people's attention, and then you would crawl around on the floor to get your money for the attention that you just got.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's different overseas, girls. That's all I'm saying. This is what I was told.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. Like, because I went to strip clubs in America, and depending on what state you're in as well, like, I think Atlanta has like some crazy stuff. Like, they are doing insane things all over the place. Like, even I was like, whoa. I mean, I work for the circus and this is impressive. And then there's like other states where like Nevada, for example, where it's illegal in Nevada to be full nude, that you have to wear a G-string, or it was back then. I don't know if it's the same anymore, but you have to be like in Reno to be able to go full nude. So yeah, it was like, it's so crazy how different even like that subculture is in different places in the same country even.
Well, in Australia, it's the same. Like when I was dancing, you know, in Brisbane, the customers could touch you. In Melbourne, you could touch them, but they couldn't touch you. In certain clubs in Sydney, you had to be a certain distance away. In other clubs, I remember out west, I don't think they had a full nude license. So you had, once you took your pants off, you had to have your hand there all the time to cover up. Other clubs, yeah.
In Playhouse, that was.
Yes. And then other places we had to wear like these like mesh colored, nude colored G-strings. Because again, I don't think they had the same, like the licensing. So yeah, it's really interesting that even within the same city, there's all these different licensing requirements and regulations around the clubs.
Transitioning from dancing, because you both worked with Bobby, is that how you got into teaching?
Yeah.
In those clubs?
Yeah, I was working as an aerobics instructor and I was too scared. I wanted to teach for Bobby because Candice was already teaching. So Bobby used to come into the clubs and she would start at like 11 a.m. and the girls would come in at 11 and we would get like a pole lesson from her. And then at midday, the club would open. So Bobby would leave and we would all start our shift. And I wanted to work for her so bad. And Candice, I think you were already working there and I was too scared to ask. And so I was just kind of asking about pole and Bobby was like trying to sell me as a student. And my other friend, do you remember Eliza at the club, Candice? Another British lady. She went and asked Bobby for me. She's like, Suzie wants a job. And that was how I got my job with Bobby. Thank you, Eliza.
How did you get yours, Candice? You were dancing with Bobby or she was teaching you, or how did that work?
Yeah, so I kind of I fell into stripping. I was backpacking at the time and eating 2-minute noodles and kind of needed to make some money. And I saw an advert to dance your way to megabucks. And I went in to have a look around the club and had like an interview. And then when I went to do the training for becoming a stripper, I went in and Bobby was there and she was pole dancing with Jamila. They were practicing for like some double show and my jaw hit the floor and I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be as good as that. That is amazing. And that just sold me on the whole thing. So every Tuesday at 11 o'clock, I was down in that club and learning new pole moves and just trying really hard. Anytime there was no customers around, I would be practicing all my pole moves and everything. And then after 6 months, Bobby said, oh, I'm going to open a fitness club so that people can do it, because she noticed a lot of people were ringing up and asking to come and learn pole dancing but didn't actually want to work in the clubs.
They were doing hens as well. They were like, Bobby would run hens nights in the clubs when the men weren't there. When the club was closed, there would be like an opportunity for women to come in and do a pole lesson.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then from there, after like 6 months of working in the club, she asked me to be a teacher because she was opening up and that was it. That was sold for me. I was so happy. It was great.
Oh,
And so who were the first teachers?
So the first teachers was Bobby, Jamila, and me.
Oh.
And was this in the massage parlor?
Yes, yeah. So we did one term at Xanadu,
Xanadu.
um, which was a fun experience. And then they started leasing the Castlereagh Street. And then, so they opened the top studio in Castlereagh Street. And then I think after a couple of terms, they had to open I think it was like 2 levels down. So they had one on the first floor and one on the third floor. But I mean, at its prime, there was 2,000 students a week coming through the door.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, absolutely.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's a dream. What a dream.
Those numbers are nuts. That's crazy.
That could have never been achieved since, right?
No way. No
chance.
No way.
How did you cater to 2,000 students? You would have been working 12 hours, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so I was doing 10 hours a week and then doing hens parties and performances and everything on top. And then, I think like Daisy was doing about 12 hours. Chili was doing probably about the same. She might have done more, actually. I think she was doing a lot more hours, actually. But yeah, so we had morning class. There was like 5, 6 in the morning classes. There was lunchtime classes, and then there was evening classes. Like, it just was constant.
And how many poles?
So in the top studio, I think, was it 12 poles, Suzie? I think
12 or 14 maybe, and then downstairs was maybe 7.
7, yeah, it was 7 in the small studio, yeah.
And 1 person per pole?
Yeah.
Back to Suzie saying she started stripping when she was 18.
Yeah.
That is ballsy.
Right?
I look back and I'm like, I'm so proud of baby Suzie. I'm like, good job, girl. Like, yay for you. You had boundaries. You didn't like fall off the rails. You saved your money. You did yay you. Like, well handled. I'm so proud of younger me.
Yeah, so impressed because it's such a ballsy thing to do at 18. Can you tell me what was going through your head? Like, how did you make that decision?
Yes.
I don't know. I really feel like it was my path. I don't know. Like, I just felt really drawn to it and it was something I was supposed to do. And I think even like at one point when I told my parents and my boyfriend, they all wanted me to quit, and I got very depressed and had big mental health issues being outside of the club and outside of my environment with my support crew and my family. Do you know what I mean? It was really a huge part of my identity and who I was and what I loved to do. I don't know. I just really loved performing. I loved the whole thing. I'm still friends with some of my customers. I still message them. Some of them still send me birthday cards. Yeah, it was really rewarding time being surrounded by amazing female role models, who were all older than me because I was very young. But yeah, that was kind of how I grew up. I worked there for 7 years and then moved on to become a showgirl and was just traveling around doing feature shows. It was just a fabulous job and career for me. It was definitely me singing my heart song.
How did you know to even do that? At 18 years old, at 53, I didn't know what a stripper was, but at 18, I wouldn't have known about a club. I wouldn't have known about any of that. How did you even know about it?
I saw the same ad as Candice. No, I'd always been very okay with my body. My best friend in high school, she was Finnish, and so we used to go to her house and have saunas, and everyone would be naked. And even getting changed at school, me and my friends would get changed out in the open or whatever. It was just normal. I started life modeling when I was 16 because I was oh, this pays way better than working at McDonald's. I'm gonna get naked for 3 hours and pose and read a book. It's very relaxed. And then so yeah, it was oh, well, I can continue to use my body to earn way more money than I would earn, doing other things at this age. And yeah, I had my heart set on buying an apartment, and then I had my heart set on buying an investment property, and then and it just sort of went from there. But yeah, I was really financially motivated and I love performing. And so this was I don't know how else an 18-year-old with no, real skills, apart from the ability to black her way through things, could earn that kind of money.
Did you just walk into a strip club and say, I want a job? What did you do?
There was an ad in the paper.
Oh, there were actually was
legit the ad. I don't know if it was Dance Your Way to Megabucks, but it was something along those lines. And I was like, okay, and just like luck that that was the ad, and I didn't answer the ad for a less fabulous strip club where, you know, the licensing was a bit looser and a bit more, you know, stripping plus was going on. Yeah, just nailed it basically, and just loved that club and all the people in it.
And same for you, Candice?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, look, working in a strip club can be, it can be very hard because it's like an acting job a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you need to be a different person as well. And yeah, look, sometimes Saturday nights were the worst to work because it would just be all the drunk bucks, and some of them would just be so horrible. But you just kind of brush it off. But I tell you something, that from working in clubs is when you find a good man outside of those strip clubs, you hold on to them real tight, and you can pick one really well. You know, you kind of get to be a really good judge of character, which was really, really amazing, like, something to go through.
And yeah, I mostly worked lunch shifts. So it was businessmen on their lunch break. They would buy me lunch. We would have a drink. We would do a private show. They would talk to me about investing and return on investment. We would discuss. And one of them bought me like my first copy of Rich Dad Poor Dad. And yeah, it was, yeah, I liked it. I had these like older mentors who were, you know, lovely to talk to. And again, still friends with a lot of them. I did not work Saturday nights. I remember I was friends with another Miss Nude Australia, and we were just so opposite. She was like, oh, I love shower shows because you don't have to talk to them. And I'm like, I hate shower shows because you're behind a glass wall and you can't talk to them. And she's like, oh, I love Bucks nights because they're in and then they're gone and you never see them again. I'm like, I hate Bucks nights. I like having my regulars where I have like a relationship with these people and it's enjoyable to spend time with them. So I think it's just finding your way through that works for you. I think that's, you know, a message for life, isn't it? Like find what works for you and follow that path through.
What's a shower show? Oh, sorry, you go, Felix.
I don't know. I was just about to say.
What show is that?
I was going to say, Elle's going to want to know what a shower show is.
A shower show. Okay, so shower show was basically they had built a shower room inside of one of the private rooms in the strip club, and you'd get your towel and you'd take your loofah, and you would basically just kind of you could have a bikini on if you wanted to, and, you know, strip out of your bikini, and then you would just soap yourself up. It's not like you were getting your razor out and doing your armpits or, you know, anything like that. It was more of like, you know, sort of the soapy kind of, you know, fantasy of seeing a girl in the shower.
You're in a shower and there's all men watching you?
Yeah, sitting outside. Like you're in the zoo, right?
You know what I thought you were going to tell me? It was a shower of money, and I was like, that's a good one.
No, you're all bubbly and sudsy. It was good to get one at the end of your shift because then you were like clean, ready to go home.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was the best. That was always the best. You're like, yes, shower show right before I finish. Great.
I'm all clean to get in the car.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the difference between showgirls and being like a showgirl and being like a hustler. Like, because up until recently, Elle thought that a showgirl also didn't take off her pants.
You know the title is called Miss Nude Australia, right? Like the clue is in the title.
I just thought that undies were still on is what I thought. That's all. I knew the top came off. I just thought the undies were on. I don't know if I thought it was burlesque. I don't know what I was thinking.
Elle and I were talking on the phone earlier today, and she's got a friend who's been they've been friends for 15 years, and she's like a career stripper. She's been a stripper the whole time that they've known each other. And Elle was like, I only just discovered that you go full nude.
She was dying laughing at me. She was like literally dying laughing. She's like, what did you think I did? Undies.
Well, like stripograms and stuff. Like you get naked. Like
it's so sweet. Like in Elle's mind, it's Moulin Rouge. Like that a strip club is Moulin Rouge. I know.
There's like topless shows, there's R-rated shows, there's also X-rated shows.
What does that mean?
Oh, I remember the first time I saw an X-rated show, I nearly died. I was
You don't forget
innocent. I was so
You don't
innocent.
forget a thing like that.
It's called that, an X-rated show. In a regular strip
You
club.
can't, yeah.
So this is like a stripogram. So this is outside of the clubs. This is when you're having your bucks night at your house or in your hotel room, and you get a stripogram. So you get someone to come and perform, like take their clothes off, do a little show. Oh my God, Candice, do you remember? So we got booked for this amazing. What did they do? They were like mathematicians or something.
Oh my
And
God, they were. Oh.
yes, so we were doing a double show, stripogram, and with these lovely, very lovely mathematicians. And Candace always did a trick at Bucks Nights where she would pull the guys' undies, like give them an atomic wedgie. And most guys wear pretty daggy, low quality underpants, and the underpants would rip. And so she would pull it off over them, but not the mathematicians. They had very new, very high quality undies. And so Candace gave this poor man the worst wedgie of his life. His eyes like bulged out of his head. I don't know what he did on his wedding night. Like, I think you injured him. Anyway, so R-rated shows are just getting nude. X-rated shows, over to you, Candace.
Oh, thanks.
No, wait, no, neither of us did them, but we both witnessed them. And again, it's like with the sex industry, with any industry, it's doing what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. So, I mean, so with an X-rated show, and the first one I saw, I was doing a waitressing job, and I was quite fresh out of just learning that there was more things you could do outside of the strip club. So there was like, oh, there's topless waitressing that you can do, and then there's the strip shows you can do. And I remember going to this bucks party, and then one of the girls from the strip club was doing a show, and I'm like, oh great, so and so is here, let's watch her show. And we were all sitting there watching, and we were like, oh, this is great. And then all of a sudden she pulled out this big dildo, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? and then she started to use said dildo, and I'm like, I was just like, I didn't realize these things happened. I was so fresh and green and didn't realize. And then she pulled out some beads and started playing jump rope with someone. So someone was holding one end, and then they were jump roping in the middle, and I was really, really shocked. But anyway, so there are that side of the industry as well, which is, another side. Not that Suzie and I participated in any of that, but yeah. It's interesting.
Or is that something else? Still stripping, or is that something else?
Yeah, still stripping. So you can work in the clubs, or you work as like, I don't know what to call it, doing stripograms. Grams is what they were called.
Right. All these things I'm learning. It's a whole new world.
Yeah, so there was an agency that you could work for, and they would tee you up with like bucks parties. So you would go to the bucks parties, and you could be a lingerie waitress, you could be a topless waitress, and then there was people that they would employ to do like stripograms.
There's also full nude waitressing, full nude waitressing also.
Just and then there was other X-rated shows as well. So it was, an agency that would send you out to do these jobs outside of a strip club, not part of the strip club at all.
But honestly, it is the best way to become a performer, because every moment is like, just cope. Like, the stereo is not working. Some girl I heard about, she performed to the Weather Channel. Somebody else, like, the stereo wasn't working. They pulled the ute into the shed and played my music off their speaker. Like, just anything. You're sinking in mud in your pleasers in someone's backyard in Liverpool. Like, you just cope. And then you're like out the back getting changed after you're done, and you're chatting with someone's grandma because you've just done a stripogram at his 18th, and you're like, oh yeah, hey, cool. Showgirls versus club dancers. So when you're working in the club, you are working the floor. So you're going over to customers, introducing yourself, and trying to entice them into a private show. And then also during your shift, you're also doing podiums. So you're performing on the main stage of the club where the whole club can watch you. Sometimes those are nude. Sometimes they are just topless. It depends on the club and depends what's happening and what time it is. And then a showgirl is someone who is booked to perform usually a 10 to 15 minute feature show. And so they're paid to come into the club with a big fancy costume, maybe props, and do a big like production.
Do they still exist?
I don't know. I have not been in a club for a long time.
They do. They do exist. I think not to the scale that they did when, say, Susie and I were working. But I think what they do now is they get more of like the girls that are already working within the club to do a feature show rather than it was externally. You would be hired to come in. You weren't someone who was working the floor and working in the club. You would come externally in and do the performance show and then come out. So
Do they use the pole?
I
Most.
certainly did.
Yes, I certainly did too. Yes.
Yes.
I
And then there was
also
also
did.
and there's still lots of like alternative, like burlesque cabaret nights where you can sort of do stripping, but do it your way, like interpret. You don't have to perform strictly for the male gaze. So you can do ridiculous things, which Candice and I did a lot as well.
We did so much, especially in Newtown. We had so much fun at that. Oh my God, what was it called?
Girlesque, we performed at a lot, which was like the first, like, it was called the Lesbian Strip Club. And so it was a night for women, by women, but it was like your interpretation of a strip show. So you could do anything. You could get naked or not, you could get topless or not. And just the creativity and incredible performance art that came out of that space is just mind blowing. And it was just such an incredible thing to be a part of.
What's the craziest show you ever did?
Oh, together? I think my funnest one was when we were gay Eskimos.
Gay Eskimos was pretty fun.
Gay Eskimos was fun. And then, but the worst thing about that was we had a tub of ice cream that we were going to use to like smear all over ourselves because we were our gay Eskimos. But when
And then we danced to Ice Ice Baby.
we did dance to Ice Ice Baby. But when we got to the venue, they didn't have a freezer. They only had a fridge. So by the time we got the ice cream out, it was like a soppy, dripping mess. And it just wasn't quite what we had envisioned. But yeah.
I love it.
When you started, were you teaching in a massage parlor, did you say, Candice?
Yeah. So that was the first studio was in the massage parlor, yeah.
Was it massages only, or was it like a massage parlor?
Oh no, it was massage plus plus.
Massage, inverted commas, massage parlor. Yes, it was. So you would get to see men walking around in their towels, like, you know, heading off to their little massage rooms, and we'd be like,
I wonder how that space was found. Like, why that space?
I think so. I think what had happened was that obviously Bobby knew lots of people because she was quite, you know, in the industry. And I think it was probably like a customer or someone that she knew who had said to her, "Oh, I've got this gym space in the massage parlor. Nobody really uses it. Like, if you wanted to put a couple poles up there, why don't you do that and see how it goes?" So that's kind of how that came about.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Was Ness part of this then or no?
Yes. Actually, Ness was the persistent one that got Bobby to open up for teaching it for fitness. So she came in all the time. She was super enthusiastic. Every class, she came to the Tuesday classes. So she was there at the Tuesday classes, and she was hilarious. She would be like, "Can I try on your shoes?" And, you know, like, she was just super enthusiastic about everything. And she just kept saying to Bobby, "Oh, you know, you should open up a proper place where we can all come and not have to come into the strip club, you know, when we can come on different times." Because obviously you couldn't go in the nighttime because that's when, you know, everyone was in there working. So yeah, she just kept persisting with Bobby, and then I think Bobby kind of thought about it and was like, "Oh, actually, I think this could be a really good thing." And then they went in it together. So they jointly partnered together and formed Bobby's Pole Studio.
In the massage parlor?
In the massage, yeah, from the very, very start. Yeah, they were together.
But Bobby was the one that was teaching everyone at the strip club?
Yes, yeah.
Were the classes big there?
Well, you had a few of the girls that would come in from the club, and then you would have like new people who were starting and needed to learn a few moves before they they got thrown on stage. I think I learned 3 moves and got chucked on stage, which was hilarious.
Where Bobby was originally teaching was in the strip club, and then she had regular classes there. So people were coming in to do classes with her.
Yeah, did
there.
she have general public classes at the club?
Yeah.
At my Friday class, it was just us girls. Like there was no general public there.
Yeah, no, so the Tuesday 11 o'clock class had Vanessa and Isabella in it. And then a few other people would come in, but they didn't allow too many people because obviously it was supposed to be for training for the girls. So I think they probably had about maybe 4 general publics and then probably about 5 of the strippers that would come every week. So it was a few, but not too many.
How did Bobby learn how to pole dance?
That's a very good question.
I know she used to like work in Japan as a showgirl, right? Over there. But
her and her sister were
for me, she was just this magical pole princess from like the moment I met her. She had mad skills.
Yeah, she just was this all legs, amazing, just someone you just could not take your eyes off of, like for a second, you know. She just owned every moment that she was dancing.
Wow, so no one knows how she got taught how to pole dance.
Probably Kim, her sister, would, because they were both in Japan. Kim went over first, and Bobby was at university. I think here in UWA, that might be wrong, but Kim was having a blast dancing in Japan, making lots of money. And then she said that, Bobby was doing a business degree, I think, and decided to join Kim. And then they spent a lot of time over there. And I can't remember the reason why they came back. I think Bobby came back to Sydney first. I can't remember the reason why, but yeah, I think she probably would have accumulated majority of her skills when she was working as a showgirl in Japan.
I want to know who taught her.
Yeah, me too.
Kim, get Kim on the podcast.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, we've got to delve into this. Well, I said to Suzie, I want to get all of this information out there while we're all still alive.
Before we all die, she said, and then I felt very like confronted with my own death.
It can happen at any time.
We've got the original people here, so if we can get what actually happened from the horse's mouth, I mean, what better history is that? Like, there's no one better than the people who actually did it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right, so we're going to dig a little bit deeper in one of our upcoming episodes to find out how Bobby learned how to pole dance. But in the meantime, we went to the massage parlor, and Bobby and Ness opened it, and then you and Jamila were the instructors. Then from the massage parlor, was it busy there?
The massage parlor they had like 2 poles. They had 2 poles, right. And I think we had about maybe 6 to 8 people in each class, and you rotated. So someone would be doing like the pole tricks, and then other people would be doing like sit-ups and push-ups, which everyone was so like happy to do as well. It was really quite funny. And then so we had the 2 poles there, and then we upgraded into the Castlereagh Street.
How long were you at the massage parlor for? It wasn't long.
1 term. It was 1 term. It was 8 term. Yeah.
And then it was like, we've outgrown this?
Oh, 100%. There was just no way that they could continue with just 2 poles. Yeah.
And it was like an ad in the paper, right? Because we interviewed Ness a while ago, and she said they just put an ad in the paper.
Yeah, so there was an ad in the paper. I actually made up some flyers on my computer. But it was actually called Sydney Pole Dancing School. So for the first term, it was called Sydney Pole Dancing School or Studio. So we had these flyers, and I would hand them out on Pitt Street Mall. So like me and I think Isabella used to go out and just hand out flyers every now and then and stuff like that. And then when they moved to Castlereagh Street, they changed it to Bobby's Pole Studio.
And was Isabella, she was an original with Ness student that was just the general public in the actual strip club. Did she ever become a stripper or no?
She never became a stripper. But she does workshops actually that used to be like how to get naked workshops and things like that. So like she knew everything about the industry. But she had never actually done that herself. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, so interesting. So the 2 people that opened that first ever pole studio, one was a stripper, one was not a stripper, because Ness was never a stripper, right?
No,
Yeah.
no.
And then Bobby was.
So Ness worked in a bank. She used to work in a bank. That was her job when she used to come into the club to learn pole dancing. She worked in a bank. Westpac, I think.
How
Is
interesting.
now an appropriate time to maybe ask the question? Like, have you guys? I don't know how to segue into this smoothly, but like the whole stripper versus pole dancer, what do you call it? War, change, difference in
Debate.
difference in opinion. Like, is this a
Yes.
good time to introduce that? Because I feel like you guys, as the OGs, like people always say, you've got to respect where it came from. It's born in the clubs and da da da. You guys gave birth to it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you made the movement happen. How do you feel about it? And what, like, yeah, I'd really love to know your opinions on that debate that's happening.
For
I
me,
mean, I guess I first came up against it when I'd like come second in Miss Pole Dance Australia and was invited to compete in Worlds. I don't know if this is what happened to you as well, Felix, but they wanted me to compete under my legal name, or like they had this big issue that I was a stripper. It was like a big thing and a big problem. Like I'm going to get confused in the pole competition and take my pants off. I don't know. It was a big problem and a big deal back then. And even back then, I was a bit like, really? Like, yeah, I know what's what and which is which. So I know, like, right at the start, there was a real like faction of like, no, we are pole fitness, we are not pole dance. We do body rolls for their toning benefits, kind of thing. So it was really trying to segregate. But I feel like it's swung back the other way now, right? In the pole world, like erotic style dancing or exotic style dancing is much more like celebrated now, and there's like, exogen and like specific competitions that focus on that style.
yeah. I mean, like for me, I don't really care what style you're doing, just pole dance. It's the best. It is, it's amazing. And, I know there's always the debates about everything and, where it came from and where it's going. But I think just enjoy the moment and do it the way you want to do it. You don't have to be. And the great thing is you don't have to be a stripper to pole dance. We kind of had to because there was no way of learning it. You couldn't.
I remember you wouldn't let Amber Ray have a stage name until she'd done a shift at the Oxford Tavern.
Bless little Amber Ray. I've named quite a few strippers actually.
Yeah. And then everyone just had their like pole dancing name kind of thing, and we're like, oh, you don't understand why we did that. Like there was a reason.
It used to be to like protect our identity.
Yes.
We didn't have our real names to protect. And now it's like, oh, what beautiful stripper and what beautiful pole dancing name can I have?
Yes.
That's how I chose mine, because I started pole dancing before I started stripping. So I was like, oh, I don't want to go into Miss Pole Dance Australia. It's Kimberly. Everybody else, the Suzie Q's got such a cool name. Oh, it can't be Kimberly.
No
So
way.
yeah.
I thought that was your like show name before pole. Oh, wow.
No. I just made it up for Miss Pole. That was the only reason.
Name.
Yeah, because you guys had cool names and I didn't.
You didn't even have to do a shift in the Oxford Tavern. You didn't have Candice like gatekeeping your name.
I know. I was
You have
thinking,
to earn your showgirl name.
To be fair, I think I did start stripping before I did the finals. So I don't know if that counts, Candice. You can be the judge of that.
Oh, let's have it.
What I was saying before, like you've got to find your own way through, and I think it's really nice that pole like embraces you if your background is ballet, or you can find a path through if your background is karate. You can find a way through if your background is nothing. Like there's a way and a style that will suit you. That's your heart song and your version of pole. And I think just celebrating all those different versions is really, it's all pole dance, it's all amazing, and that's what makes it you. That's your USP, like what you bring to it.
Yeah, that's so true. It's not just like come from one place and it's that now. It's come from there's so many different places that it's come from now, so many different influences. I'd be probably impossible to say that it's only the strip clubs that have influenced pole.
Well, it's a big melting pot, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's so much. And I think so early on when the general public actually did go, what is this? We want to try it. Like most of the general public, and you girls know because you've all got studios, I don't know, probably for me, speaking of my studio, there'd been like 99% who are just general public, who are not strippers now. Do you know what I mean? And my studio's always pretty much been like that. Melbourne's a little bit different because I have a lot of the girls who come in and use the 24-hour. But I think in most of our studios, it's just general public, right?
But that's what it was at Bobby's. Like when we first started, like we were dancers, but the students were not.
Yeah.
They
Well,
just
some
wanted
of
to
you
try.
were, some of you weren't, yeah, because Ness wasn't and Isabella wasn't, and they were both teachers for a little bit. Is that right?
Yeah, and Chili as well. When Chili started, Chili worked at Lush actually. When she was one of the first students at the Xanadu. She was my student at Xanadu.
Yeah, right.
Cute.
Yeah.
What was she like as a first student?
She was so fun. She was really, really fun. So she was just really outrageous. She's just Chili, you know, she was really outrageous. She had bright red hair. She was super enthusiastic about everything. You know, she just wanted to learn everything. She wanted to know everything. She'd ask you like a bazillion questions. And after that term, Bobby had come to me and said, out of all the students you've had, is there anybody that you think would be a good teacher? And I said, Chili, because I said, you know, she's enthusiastic. She'll get everyone's attention. You know, she'll be great with the students. And then also Roxy. So, but she was going to England to go traveling. So she came back, I think it was after a year, and then became a teacher. So that was my like 2 picks out of that first term. For who might be a teacher.
So should we go back a little bit more about the debate?
Yeah, like, I want the debate.
We kind of. What do you think about it, Candice?
Look, I love the sexy side of pole dancing. Like that for me, like when I started pole dancing and hilariously becoming a stripper, because I was very, very insecure about my body. And, you know, I think embracing that side and becoming a stripper and learning that all the issues I had about my body was about myself. You know, I really love that sexy side. So for me, I do really like to do that in my classes. But look, yeah, I'm not going to debate that. I think, you know, you should stick to the sexy side and, you know, you should always know where it's come from, because everything evolves. Everything becomes something a little bit different. You know, you've got gymnastics and, you know, all the other elements that come into it now. And I think, like I said earlier, I just do you and do the way that you want to do it, you know. But for me, I really love teaching people how to be a bit more comfortable in their skin. And I think a lot of people seek that when they want to go and do pole dancing. You know, they know it's a little bit of a sexy kind of thing. And, you know, maybe they need to build up their confidence a little bit more. And I think pole dancing is a really good way to do that. So I will always harness that sexy side of pole dancing. But, yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to get into the big debate that you have to know where it came from and own that, because I mean, I guess pole dancing really to start with came from Chinese pole, so you know we're not embracing the gymnastics of Chinese pole, are we? So
a lot of the tricks did, right? Like Suzie, you would know, especially the stuff that like Toby did, it would be a lot of that acrobatic Chinese pole. I remember when Jessie ran that competition and we got all those people from all around the world, when Zaraya came and Marlo came, and then there was those acrobatic guys that came. And when we were speaking to them, they were all like, yeah, no, we learn everything from the Chinese pole, because they're doing backflips off the pole. There's no strip club doing that, right? So it is a big melting pot of everything. So no need to be offended.
No, I wouldn't be offended. No.
Are you guys offended by people coming into the industry that may have like negative thoughts or opinions about strippers?
It's a hard one, I think, because before I became a stripper, I had those opinions probably myself. You know, I think it's not portrayed very well. And I mean, I did an extra in a movie, and I had to be the stereotype stripper that, you know, was going to go and sleep with someone for money, and it just killed me inside, because I was like, it's not actually what it's like. And I think there's a big misunderstanding about what stripping is and a strip club is. You know, people
Wow.
just assume that maybe you're going to be people. Yeah, Elle, or not getting naked at all. Yeah, so there's a big stereotype around working in a strip club and being a stripper that I think people don't understand. I think if people understood that a little bit better, it would be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Suzie?
I think maybe when I was younger, probably more like offended and like, oh, well, that's, it's not like that's not what you think. But now I'm just a bit like, oh, you're not my people. I'm going to go and talk to these other people. Excuse me. Yeah, you're not necessarily going to change someone's mind.
No, exactly right. And I think sometimes the more you push it and say, you have to respect us, you have to this and that, you actually like are making it worse. You know what I mean? Like people are like, you can't force somebody to respect you. Respect has to be earned. Just because you say it and because you want it, you can be the loudest person in the room, but they're still not going to respect you because you tell somebody to. So I think that's a little,
Yeah.
asking a little much. Yeah.
I think also it's so I guess I don't know if you like Candice and Susie and Elle as well. We've all been in this industry for such a long time, but I feel like when it first started, like 20 years ago now, we sort of had to all fight together against this like weird stigma that pole dancing was a bad thing. And now I feel like the the pole dancing has become more mainstream and it is more widely accepted. And so it's gone off on this tangent. But the stripping has still stayed like the villain, right? So there's these two forces that used to work together really closely, and now one's sort of won the race, and the other one's like, oh, okay, we're still here. But I don't know. I think they are two quite different things now, because the majority of the people that pole dance, and it has always been, the majority of people that do pole dancing are the general public. They're not working in the industry. So is it impossible to expect that they would be able to understand the truth of the industry without having been exposed to it?
But also, why do they need to? Why are some people so desperate for them to? Why does it matter?
Yeah, it's all the meaning that we ascribe to things, right? Like nothing inherently has meaning. And so there's this general agreement amongst the general population that the sex industry or even sex or stripping is bad or negative. And once you've actually experienced it firsthand, you're like, oh, it's actually a lot more nuanced than that. Nothing's completely bad, nothing's completely good. But expecting somebody to have an understanding of that when they haven't been exposed to that, or anybody who's experienced that nuance, I don't think they're going to. They're not going to.
No. But why do they need to? Like, why is the pole community, not everyone, but there is some people in the pole community pushing for people to understand what a stripper is and what a stripper's done, because that's our origins. You guys are our origins.
Because everybody wants to feel understood. Like, when I was in the midst of stripping, I would have I'm so glad I had people like Candice and Eliza in my life who really got me and like understood me. But my family, definitely not. Do you know what I mean? Like they really like ostracized me and didn't want me as part of their life because of this aspect of my personality. Because I do consider, like, again, it was my heart song, it was my path that I was supposed to be on. And so being shunned for that, of course, I would have preferred it if they would have understood and got me. That would have felt much more comfortable. But again, becoming older, like you're like, oh, some people aren't going to get me. That's okay. Again, I'm going to go hang out with the people that do.
It is everyone's desire to feel understood, I guess, to people who matter to them. Like, I think that needs to come into it, people that matter to you. But if you're in a group setting or you're teaching a dance class, like most people don't know where the origins of any dance comes from unless you're learning the history of dance. Do you know what I mean? So, or Pilates or yoga. And you're a yoga instructor, Suzie. How many of us walk into a yoga studio and get a whole history lesson on yoga?
No, you've got to like sneak in little bits of it here and there kind of thing. But I think even when we like started teaching pole, like that was very controversial back in the day. And I think that was just us just slowly acting like it was normal and trying to, and as more people came in, we're like, hey, it's normal, it's cool kind of thing. And that's how you slowly garner respect. And that's how you slowly change people's opinions. It wasn't by going like, you're wrong, pole dancing is fine. Yeah. Like whenever you're making someone wrong, you're instantly going to have resistance. They're pushing up against something like what you were talking about before, Elle. You can't make someone wrong. You just continue doing your thing and singing your heart song, and more people join. And, hundreds of people, thousands of people now have, tried pole dancing and gotten to experience it for themselves. But until they experience it for themselves, again, you can't tell them that what they're thinking or how their view of the world is wrong. You're not going to change their mind. It's good luck.
Yeah, that's it. And look, let's face it, the people that are coming into pole are coming in because they think it's cool. They've either seen a cool trick out there or somebody do a cool dance. They don't care about the history. They don't care about that. Maybe some people do, but I think most would not. Most people are coming in because they want to do this cool shit that somebody else is doing. You know what I mean? Even like Candice, when you saw Bobby, or Suzie, when you saw Bobby, you're like, I want to do that. It's the same thing. Nothing's changed from that. We all want
And
to
we don't know the history. We don't know where Bobby learned.
Yeah. Literally never asked the question.
Yeah, but we just followed her because what she was doing was really cool, and it's something that we wanted to do as well, and it really it spoke to us. And I think that's all you can do, right? You just continue stepping forward on your path and the things that speak to you.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we should say about this that's important? What about the whole you can't cosplay a stripper in a pole competition? What about that? You got thoughts? So if somebody, okay, this is the thing. So if somebody who was not a stripper wants to go and do a show as a stripper in, not recognition, what's the right word?
Honor or paying homage.
Homage to a stripper, and they just wanted to do a competition, but like the homage as a stripper. How do you feel about that?
Do you?
I don't care.
I'm like, if it's gonna make you happy, and you're gonna have a great time, and you're gonna do something amazing that makes your heart really full, then yeah,
full support.
Yeah,
full support.
No one's offended.
No one's offended. Yeah. It's interesting because there are people who are very offended.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been a big thing, Suzie.
Yeah. So that there's been a lot of, and I think what Elle and I are curious how you guys feel about it, because there's a lot of there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of posts online, comments online about cosplaying strippers, about pole dancers not being allowed to cosplay strippers. So if you are a pole dancer and you've never stripped before, a bit like, you're not allowed to have a stage name until you've done a shift, a bit like that, but way.
I get it. Like, I understand that the pole dancer maybe hasn't been through like what Candice and I have been through, like in terms of the serious emotional labor of dealing with customers, dealing with I got kicked out of home. My dad didn't speak to me for a couple of years, like because of stripping. And that, is I get that that's hard to deal with, that we'll call it discrimination. But somebody going and dancing in heels there's a difference between, I guess, my pain and my issues and trying to control other people and change what other people are doing. I guess I did want just one asterisk, Elle, on this. If I am judging said person and they are doing strippery things that is not relevant to their story or their plot or their character, then I will have an issue at that point. Yes. But that's different. That's coming at it as a judge versus coming at it just as a person who has experienced, the discrimination that comes along with that particular career choice. I don't mind. I don't care. You do you.
Go for it. Whatever you like. What about, because you have judged a lot. I don't know if we even mentioned that at the beginning, but you've judged a lot. Candice, you would have judged a lot too, yeah?
Lots and lots. Yeah.
Yeah. Think about all of these things that there's a lot of things coming into competitions now to say you cannot be a schoolgirl, you cannot be a nun, you cannot be a stripper, you cannot do anything that, you know, may harm you. And they're being banned from being able to perform a ton of themes and a ton of different things. What do you think as judges about that? There was a big competition in Spain. I don't know if you guys know this. There was a big competition in Spain and they did a Holocaust routine. And there was nothing in the rules to say that they couldn't do the routine on the Holocaust.
They were disqualified. Yeah.
That's a really tough one because I feel like back when we were doing performance shows, we could kind of do whatever we wanted and there was no real pushback. I mean, like when I won Miss Pole, I was dressed in a jungle outfit, you know, and Daisy's done an Indian, you know, like we would dress up as lots of different things and we would just, you know, we were kind of just portraying those characters. So I feel like now it's a lot harder to be able to express different genres, let's say, because there does seem to be a lot more pushback about things like that. But I mean, for me, if I'm judging a show, I am looking for the engagement, the story, that, you know, like I'm not thinking, I don't think it's politically correct. I mean, there's obviously some lines that you probably shouldn't cross, but I'm not there going, oh, you know, oh, I think that's probably not the correct thing for that. I'm looking at their tricks, the story, are they engaging, you know, their use of musicality. Yeah, and I think just sometimes it gets a little bit blown out of proportion with certain things. I mean, I think there's a line for some things, but yeah, you know, dressing up as a schoolgirl, that's like the dawn of time. The dawn of time, people have been doing that. People go out on a Saturday night dressed up as schoolgirls for like fun, you know? It's, yeah.
Yeah.
I think like burlesque was originally much more political, like making political points and political arguments. And, you know, I miss girlesque, like nights like girlesque, where there were shows about Top Gun and shows about communism, like on the same stage. And we're not censoring people, artists who are trying to express themselves. And it's like a lot of shows, like there's a lot of like trigger warnings, trigger's going to trigger you. Oh, you shouldn't do that. That triggers me. The trigger is such a small part of the gun, right? And that's what exists like outside of you. The rest of the gun exists inside of you. Maybe address that. It's that you can carpet the whole world, like you can restrict this theme and this theme, you can restrict this, or you could just put on a pair of shoes. It's probably easier than carpeting the entire world and controlling it and changing it so that it's palatable to you and what you think, particularly where art is concerned.
And I feel like it's okay to have an opinion and be offended. That's fine. But I don't think necessarily everybody has to change because
I think that's great. Like if some piece has made me offended, I want it to make me really offended because then it's really made me feel something and you've made somebody feel something. And that is what art is about, right? It's I have had this experience in the world and I'm going to share it and you are going to share it with me in this moment. I'm going to get you to feel what I feel.
Snaps, Suzie, snaps. Like, yeah, I could not agree more with you that when we start censoring art, which is so much of what I think pole is, like I know there's mechanics behind it, but for me, I'm an artist and what I present is art. And if you said to me, you're not allowed to do art like that, that would not make me feel nice.
I guess the competitions that we run, they'll be allowed to do it. But I think a trigger warning is actually an okay thing to have a trigger warning because then you can tell the audience, listen, if you want to watch this, this is what's going to happen. And just be prepared for it. And
then they have the choice if they want to partake or not.
It
has. I've emceed a lot of shows where literally every second piece had a trigger warning. Just it was a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like, I guess when trigger warnings sort of first became a thing, because there was a time when trigger warnings weren't a thing. We didn't do them. Nobody had heard of them. And then when they became a thing, I think, you know how the pendulum sort of just has to swing both ways before it lands in the middle? And then you're just trigger warning every single possible thing. Yeah. I think it's so important, like getting like you both your opinions because you're so integral. Like you guys are the strippers that made the pole dancing thing happen in Australia and probably globally as well. Because back then we were ahead of the market. Like it was all here.
Yeah.
Everything came from Australia. Like there was only, there's a debate, isn't there, where the first studio was in the
Las
States
Vegas, yeah.
with Fornia, or the first studio was
But
here. Do you guys know?
even
I think Fornia might have been first, actually.
but she didn't have the movement behind her. Like she may have been the
No.
first
I
studio,
think
but
it was on a
it was
small scale. Like
it
I'm
was
not.
it was like 9 poles in a little strip mall thing. Like it was not the same as it was here. Like I went to both places.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I went to like because when I went to Vegas, her studio was in Vegas, and so like I went from Bobby's directly over to Vegas when I was working with Cirque. And so I've been to that studio and I saw the scale of it. Not like apples and oranges.
Yeah. Well, 2,000 students a week. I wonder if there's anywhere in the world that would have that kind of students.
Now, you mean?
Yeah, now. Or ever has been apart from Bobby's.
Maybe Asia, like if you were the first, like in bits of parts of Asia where they're a little bit more liberated and have the hunger for it, because I think it's that curiosity movement when something first comes into the market and it hasn't been available before. That's where the like those massive numbers will be. Now it's like we've been in Australia. Yeah,
Because
it's
Bobby
so
also
saturated.
created the phenomenon of Miss Pole Dance, which
Yeah.
is the first pole competition, the first chance for like pole performance outside of stripping. Like Candice, we were talking, how long did our routines have to be for the first
8
Miss Pole?
minutes.
8 minutes.
Minutes was like the maximum, and in fact, my show was 8.5. I pushed another 30 seconds on there because you really wanted to tell a story and do a big show, and it was something that you kind of wanted to draw people into.
Yeah.
So I cannot fathom now doing a competition and having 4 minutes. It would take me just to walk out and be like, "Hello, everybody, I'm here."
And we didn't have that many pole moves back then as well. Like now we had like 3 moves.
It was like, ooh, and I mean, it was called a static V, but the Aisha, that was like busting it out.
I think that created such a huge global phenomenon. Like everybody wanted to get their hands on the Miss Pole Dance DVD, like globally. And yeah, creating that was a huge part of like Bobby's kind of empire that she created.
And it was even before like YouTube, like we didn't even have YouTube back then. So like those DVDs were really the only way that you could see what was happening in pole.
But how did people know about it though? Like how did the rest of the world know about it? There was YouTube, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was YouTube. There was YouTube because I remember there was no pole dancing on it though. There was one guy, I think he was called Badass or something, and he would do like a few pole tricks, and then sometimes I would look and be like, "Oh, can I steal something and turn it into something else?" But there was no actual like pole dancing instructional.
Yeah, there was a time when I had watched every single pole dancing video on YouTube. Like,
yeah, there was like 12.
Yeah, they had the website, and they saw all the DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
Like through the whole website. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you got?
Wow.
Bobby's first instructional DVD.
I actually had this like laying around because
wow.
one of my students wanted to watch all of the old stuff. Oh, look, there's erotic stuff.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Erotic stuff?
That was the reality TV series that Candice, Amber, and I were on.
For where? Where was it aired?
It was aired first in England, and then it was aired in Western Australia, actually.
Oh.
On Fox. Yeah.
Can you please copy that DVD for us so that we can watch it?
I will try.
I have a box. I will send you one.
Please. Please.
What did you do on this reality TV show?
There was stripping competition. What did we have to do? We ran a bikini car wash.
Oh,
We
that was
learnt belly dancing. We did pole dancing with Bobby. Candice and I did well at that challenge.
Oh, it was a challenge.
It was challenges,
like
and people
challenges.
got like voted off the island each week.
Yeah, it was like we did volleyball. Like we had to go to the beach, do surfing.
We went speed dating.
Oh yeah, speed dating. Oh my
As
God.
strippers, like.
And then whoever was like, yeah, and then whoever was the worst. So we did like the speed dating, and then obviously they put us in a pool of who was good at speed dating and who wasn't. And then who wasn't good at the speed dating, you got put into a section, and then you had to dance for your life. So you had to do a strip show. Only down to your G-string and your bra.
That's true. Only topless.
Yeah. Oh no, it was topless. Sorry, it was topless. Yeah. Then you had to do like a strip show, and then the worst person was out.
Oh my gosh, bring it back.
And this went on actual TV, like regular TV.
It was on Fox.
It was
They did air it on Fox. And then they and actually it was really funny because I remember someone going, I just hired a DVD at the DVD store and you were on it. Like it was at the Blockbuster video store.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So funny. Did you guys do aerobics Oz style as well? Was that you as well? You did, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
About that, I don't know how I just thought of that, but I loved that. I used to do it in my front of my TV.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love, so like aerobics was like, I don't know, I got into that when I was 8 with my dad at the local church hall, and my dad is very high energy. And so he was that student, you would know him in pole class, front and center, giving 10,000% energy. And so from the age of 8, I was beside him and I'm like, this is how we do group fitness. Okay, we give it 110% energy and we are front and center. And so shortly after I became a fitness instructor, and that was when Eliza asked Vanessa and Bobby for a job for me. It was all the same time. Like, yeah.
And then you were on TV doing aerobics Oz style.
Yeah, around that time. Yeah. I think Oz style was like I was working in gyms and then Bobby's and then Oz style.
Because that was a big thing back then.
I was just in the background. I wasn't, and I was right like towards the end of its, heyday. But yeah, that I remember I'd only just like got my Cert 3. I was just starting to teach aerobics. And I remember in my job interview with Vanessa, she's like, do you think you can stand in front of a room full of people and teach them to exercise? And I'm like, I hope so. This is what I'm like committing my career to right now. I really hope so. And so, yeah, like teaching fitness and people to move has always been such a huge part of my life. And yeah, so that's Ozstar was just part of that.
Well, I think that's cool. All these TV shows that you've been on Underbelly?
Yep.
Yes.
I saw the DVD. Both of you on Underbelly?
I was a stripper.
Yeah.
Rise.
And what was the other one? Rake as well. Yeah.
Home and Away?
Home and Away, the controversial strippers in Home and Away.
And the SBS doco that I was on for Miss Nude, Best Undressed, that was on Qantas for a while. Like, kids could watch that.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it was wild. Yeah. Anyway.
And then there was a Miss Pole doco as well. Were you on that as well?
I don't think I was.
Blood, sweat, and sequins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
was filmed for that, but I ended up on the cutting room floor for that one.
Oh no.
Rude. Felix was on that. I remember she was so young and cute.
That was a long fucking time ago.
But that was that, and then the Miss Nude doco that you were on, Susie, that followed you around. They were two really big things back then, especially in our industry. We were like, wow, this is amazing. You've got to watch this. I think maybe the first time I met you, Susie, I literally watched that the night before I met you, which was so weird. It was just on TV, and I think you'd come down to Canberra to do a show for Miss Pole ACT or something. I think that's the first time I met you. And then I think we went out to dinner and I was like, I just saw you on the Miss Nude doco.
See there? Look, I didn't have pants on. You should have known. Strippers, no pants.
Oh, no pants.
A long time ago. I do. Now, you know what stood out to me about that documentary, and I don't know why it stuck in my mind, but you were crying over your boyfriend.
Yes, not Toby.
Toby. Toby's the husband.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and I met him in a strip club in England because I was working over there for a while. And so the first thing he knew about me was that I was a stripper, like before he knew my name. But he did not like my career either. Damn.
That happens
Yeah.
a
Oh.
lot. That would happen a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. It's really funny. I don't know. I don't think sometimes men have this, I can save her. I'm going to save her from it. And then they realize we actually really love it and
love it.
not something we actually want to give up.
Need saving. I'm doing fine.
Yeah, I know. We're saving here. Sorry.
And then they would just break up with you because they don't like you doing it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just they uncomfortable. I don't know. Yeah, again, I was a lot younger. I was also much more immature in my relationships, so I probably wasn't being a great partner either. But yeah, I never really spoke. One of them was just saying that he couldn't reconcile, the girl who sleeps with a teddy bear and is scared of thunderstorms, and versus the, what he's seeing on stage. And I'm like, it's a performance. It's acting. Acting. That's what it
The
is.
magic of theatre.
The magic of theatre coming to life. But yeah, I don't. Did you ever get like a really good response? And it's really hard not to internalize that, right? Like, oh, something is wrong with me. Like, oh, I'm damaged. Something is wrong. If someone gets to know me, they can't love me because this thing is wrong with me. So I think that's part of that like discrimination that we were speaking about earlier as to why people who are strippers don't like I haven't heard cosplaying strippers, that terminology before, but sure. But I think that's where that comes from. It's like, oh, you're taking all the benefits of this, but you haven't actually been through the bad part of this.
Yeah, you haven't lived it.
I still don't care.
Just
to be clear, I still don't care if they do that. But I assume that's where that would be coming from, right?
Yeah, I think you literally use some of the exact words that are said to justify that standpoint, is that like you haven't lived the trauma. You haven't like experienced the bad things that go along with the good.
So I want you to live some trauma and then you can put on your pleasers. No, I want you to have a happy life doing things that you enjoy and love.
To me, everything you're saying makes sense.
There you went into, so there was thousands and thousands of students and they all adored you and everyone loved you and everyone wanted to do what you girls were doing, because this is where we are right now. Everyone still wants to do what you girls do. And then what happened? Then you moved, Suzie, you left and opened your own studio, and same for you, Candice. Is that what happened?
No, I actually went and worked for iPole for a little while, which was a studio on Parramatta Road that was run by an amazing male dancer called Darren, who's a legend. And then that later became Jamila DeVille Pole Studio, which then became Sydney Pole.
Yes, I remember I went to that studio, these big fat 50 mil poles, and I couldn't do anything on them. It was tiny and there was kind of like a little garden out the back.
Yeah, that's right. Yes,
Yes, I know things.
Yeah. And then from there, I went and opened my own studio with Charlie.
Yeah, well, that's actually interesting. How did you meet Charlie?
Do you know, I don't remember. Like, I had trouble remembering how I met you, Candice. I just remember we were at a meeting and she's like, I just dyed my hair like a very strong red. And she came into the meeting and she's like, oh, I just came from a psychic. And she held up like a little crystal and she's like, and she said she would have, I was meeting with someone, very important business partner, would have this color hair. And it was like this like bright red crystal kind of thing. And then we found out we had the same birthday. And then I was like, oh my God, it's meant to be. Yeah, I just remember these early meetings. But this is not like, I don't remember meeting Andrea either. Sorry, Andrea. There's just people that have just always been in my life. They've just always been there. Even Toby, I'm like, you've just always been there. This is why with Candice, like remembering like that I borrowed a G-string off you. I'm like, oh, there was a time when you weren't there. What? Yeah, these people have just always been there.
So I left Bobby's and then I went to Suzie's. So
oh, yes, I remember you there actually, because I'd gone to Suzie's as well.
Yeah, so I left Bobby's studio, I went to Suzie's, and then I was there for a few years, and then when I got pregnant, we decided we didn't really want to live in the city, so we moved up to Byron, and I started working at the pole studio in Byron. And then after I'd been there for a couple of years, she was going to sell it, so I brought it.
And how long did you have that for?
Let's just say quite a few years. Like over 5 years, I think. Yeah. And then, well, I brought it in. Well, I was working there from 2012, and then I sold it just before COVID.
Oh,
lucky for me!
Yeah, smart.
What a good decision you made.
On purpose, like it just happened that that all came about at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then now I work at Studio Eden, which is in Bundall.
So what was your pole studio called in Byron?
It was called Polecats. So there was actually like a franchise of Polecats.
Yeah.
There was Polecats in Byron. There's Polecats still in Tweed Heads. And then Polecats, which Nicole owned and changed into Studio Eden. That was Polecats in Bundall. And there was a Polecats in Binley as well. So there was, I think, 4 all up.
I remember going to a Polecats. There was a very do you remember Beck and Pip who ran the Australian Summer Pole Camp? The very first year do you remember this?
Yeah,
So
one of them was at Polecats.
You were, yes, when it was at Polecats, right? And I remember I don't know which Polecats it was, one of the Polecats. It wasn't yours because yours would have been too far away. But we went in there and the mirrors just were falling off the walls.
Was it the 90-day carpet one?
It was the one on the Gold Coast Highway.
Yeah, that was the one. So that they changed location to the Bundle one, and then she sold it to Nicole. Yeah.
Oh, was that the one that Nicole's got? That the mirrors were falling off the walls?
No, that there's no longer a pole studio. That
one's gone.
That got knocked
not safe.
Yeah.
There was a class full of people. There must have been 20 people. I actually think you were teaching that year, Suzie, there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were teaching. And I remember there was like these big mirrors on the walls, and all of a sudden they just kept on falling on the ground, and they were smashing, and we all had bare feet, and we were like, holy hell.
I don't remember this at all.
What the
I
heck?
could have been there. I think Shell Hafner was teaching at the time. I think it was one of her classes, and I was just like scared because these mirrors, like when I say big mirrors, I'm talking like what we have in a dance studio, 2 meters by a meter, sort of like 2.5 meters by a meter mirrors, big ones, and they weren't put on properly. I don't know. There was too hot in Queensland or something that got.
Oh my God.
It's just such a clear memory that all these mirrors were smashing on the ground next to us. Anyway, that's my
Glass everywhere.
Stuff everywhere.
Everywhere.
But your Polecats was not like that. You had stuck-on mirrors, good ones.
Very safe mirrors, good mirrors.
So Byron Bay, I've never actually been, but I would love to go. It's beautiful, right?
It is beautiful, yeah. It's like old school Bondi is how most people what Bondi used to be, like 20 years ago, apparently. That's the vibe.
It's very chill. It's real
it
slow.
Is very chill.
Yeah.
Nice. Is it full of influences now though?
Yeah.
Where it's not full of influences though? Like they're everywhere.
I live out in the bush. We just have a wallaby that we call Tippy because she's got a tip of white on her tail.
Yeah. I want to move in with Suzie. That sounds amazing.
Stay with us and Tippy.
This is why you don't know about the battle.
Debate.
The raucous debate.
So tell us about that, Suzie, because people can actually go stay with you, right?
Yeah, so we have Ridgetop Retreat, which is a custom-built pole and aerial B&B. So it's got 3 bedrooms, 2 poles, and then 2 adjustable rigging points.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, we have like a 25-acre bushland property. So there are lots of wallabies, echidnas, lots of lovely native wildlife, and you can see all the stars. And Toby's just set up a little outdoor fire so you can have marshmallows when you come and stay. So you can organize like a little traincation with your friends. So we rented out as a pole and aerial B&B, and then I run workshops and my privates here. And then Toby and I obviously use it as our training space as well.
how far out of Sydney as a non-local, like how
90 minutes.
Oh, easy, easy.
Yeah.
Do you have like an Instagram handle if somebody wanted to find it?
Yeah, it's ridgetop_retreat.
Candice, what about for you?
Just for me, I'm just on Instagram, Candice Leigh Pole. And that's it. Just come have a look, see what's going on. Normally just all competition stuff that I pop up there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today. I think it was such a great opportunity to learn about the history and how you guys are and how you be in the pole industry for such a long time. And you guys both have such a beautiful outlook on pole. It was so wonderful to hear you and share with you. Thank you for the laughs and thank you for joining us. So thank you very much. And thank you all for listening. And we are peacing out. Thank you very much. Good night.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.